John Fetterman has been out there doing the rounds. I don't know. Doesn't he still communicate, Fetterman, with a pad of some kind, like an iPad? People have to translate what they're saying to him and he has to read it? Or has he gotten better and he doesn't need that anymore? Because I can't imagine if he went on The View, those hens could have been transcribed in his little iPad fast enough for him to read them all. Is that still how he's communicating, Fast Eddie? Do we know?
Yeah, he is. He's got that in front of him at all times. And you'll see, he's recovered really, really well, but you'll see as he kind of gets on into it, like into a longer segment, a longer speaking session, he'll start to stumble, and you can hear kind of, where he's been.
I'm going to confess that, being a show that has been headquartered in Pennsylvania exclusively for a number of years, we were very, very tough on Senator Fetterman, and as such, I'm not sure he's probably necessarily eager to come on this show, and I understand that. I hope that changes, but I know you've been working diligently to get him here. He has been a very interesting figure as of late, and Fast Eddie has been extending the olive branch and trying to get him on the program, because now he's doing all the media. He's going on Fox, he's going on The View, he's going everywhere, and he seems to be the only sane Democrat left. And as such, we have certainly invited him on the show to come on and talk about it. Heretofore, we have been rebuffed. Is that about right?
Yeah, unfortunately. It's, you know what, though? It was, so, speaking, I know his press people, obviously, they haven't really been warm to the idea, but also, his offices, because of the shutdown, have been closed,
The thing is, I suppose, given what we know about his campaign and his candidacy prior with Dr. Oz, we go back to the Dr. Oz Fetterman showdown days.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was a much uglier and different time than the John Fetterman of today. Now, again, he still votes with Democrats overwhelmingly, but this media tour that he's on right now has been a very, very interesting one. He went over there to the hens of The View. Again, if he can keep up with that noise, he can certainly handle me. Which, by the way, I'm not even looking to be combative. They're mad at him. I never thought I'd see the day that the hens at The View would be mad at a guy like Fetterman, and I'm just inviting him on to talk with him in a calm way, not even in a debating way. He was... Well, listen for yourself here in number 83. Fetterman is one of the only Democrats out there saying, we had to open government, and here's why. The other 7, to my knowledge, are not doing much, if any, media at all. They're in hiding, because Democrats and their base are just fit to be tied. Chuck Schumer is a marked man. The memo has gone out. We got to get rid of Chuck Schumer. This is seen as his Waterloo and his failure. The fact that the government's about to reopen is a failure of Chuck Schumer's that now means he must pay politically. Jimmy Kimmel and all the others have gotten the memo. Time to mock him. Time to take him out. Who replaces him, Lord only knows. But Fetterman decided to walk out there and defend the position of reopening the government, and he went to The View to do it. Number 83. Let's go.
Poll after poll found more Americans on both sides of the aisle blaming Republicans. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene blamed the GOP. As you mentioned, Democrats had big wins last week, so you had momentum. Why give in now? Why bring a butter knife to a gunfight? Are you willing to gamble that the GOP will negotiate on health care in good faith once the government reopens? Because if that gamble is wrong, 500,000 Pennsylvanians that you represent, their health care costs will skyrocket if you are wrong. And I believe you are wrong.
Well, first of all, MTG is quite literally the last person in America that I'm going to take advice or to get their kinds of my leadership and values from. And now if Democrats are celebrating crazy pants like that, then that's on them. And now I don't need a lecture. I don't need a lecture from whether it's Bernie or the governor in California, because they are representing very deep blue kinds of populations, and a lot of those things were part of the extreme. And now remember, what really needs to win, the big win, is involving my state and other states and those things. And why have we arrived here after the election a year ago? We got to forget some of the things that cost us that election. Or now, for me, it's like, that's why I'm trying to remind people that kinds of the extremism, we can't return to those kind of things, and realize we need to find a way forward. And I would like to, rather than cite MTG, I'm going to cite one of the new governor-elects saying that my election is not a green light to continue this shutdown, because I promise you, this isn't a political game. It is viewed by many of us, but the reality is 42 million Americans now not sure where their next meal is going to come from, and because we vote like that, or people that haven't been paid for 5 weeks now, and that kinds of chaos. Those workers have to borrow more than $500 million, from their credit union just to pay their bills now.
I mean, I'm a little taken aback because even through what was sort of some broken explanation, again, the guy had a massive stroke, so he still struggles to string everything together. But isn't it really kind of remarkable that of everyone on the Democrat side, a guy who's had a massive stroke and struggles to communicate is the one who's brave enough to go into a viper's den like that and explain why the government needs to be reopened? I mean, that's where the Democrats are, Ed. A guy with a massive communications disability who suffered a major stroke is the only guy that makes any sense and is bold enough to defend the position we cannot keep the government closed unless we'd like 42 million people to just have no idea where their incomes will come from. He's the only Democrat. That's remarkable. I'd love to have him here to commend him.
No, you're absolutely right, and it seems like, and I don't know that I've heard this in politics in a very long time. It does seem like he cares about the people of Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like, I know that politicians are very tuned up, they're very made up, and they're given things to say. This to me sounds genuine in the way that he was with his support of Israel.
Yes, and I will say about, Sunny Hostin, Houston, whoever the hell she is, and I still don't know why she's on a television show, and I don't know why I'm supposed to care about her, but at any rate, this continued insistence that Republicans promising we will reopen government and have a debate about Obamacare, and as such, it's not in good faith. It's absolutely in good faith. I think we ought to have the debate. The fact of the matter is, Democrats do not... I know this audience understands it. I don't mean to belabor it, but people are always happening by the show that have not heard this before, so let me make this case again. Republicans are all too happy. I am all too happy to revisit and have a discussion about Obamacare and the way we have subsidized the Affordable Care Act and the fact that it cannot stand on its own merits. It cannot. Democrats know it, too, and they very purposely... In fact, I had a clip to this yesterday, and I don't remember, or maybe I didn't, maybe I saw it. Who was the Democrat that admitted... I think it might have actually been Fetterman. I think Fetterman went on another show and said, it was we Democrats that actually rigged this so that these COVID subsidies for Obamacare would actually come up now. We did this on purpose. We had the opportunity to extend them much further out, and instead we very specifically arranged it so they would come up now. I can't remember who said that, but I heard it yesterday. And the point of the clip was, and it was, I think it was from Fetterman. I might have to check myself on it. But the point is, anyway, Fetterman said we could have locked this stuff in perpetuity. Democrats have been in control for a while now. It wasn't as though Mike Johnson had been running things. And the Democrats, certainly, we know, they had the authority and the power pre-Trump to get a lot accomplished. That this current House of Representatives and the Republican leaders are not allowing Democrats to do. But at the time, Fetterman made the point that while they were in control, at least on the Senate side, they could have codified Obamacare subsidies for a long time. They wanted this fight. The Democrats wanted this fight. Sunny Hostin, Houston, and people like her don't want to fight now because they know if this is relitigated in the public now, people understand that subsidizing health insurance because it's doubling, quadrupling in rates for people, it's not a workable model. And all you're doing, and Republicans are actually going to be the ones that are going to be able to effectively say this now, you're taking all our tax dollars and lining the pockets of big insurance. And I want to watch the Democrats, as we talked yesterday, defend big insurance. I want to watch the Democrats in the next couple of weeks. Thune said we're going to bring this to a vote. I promise, let's reopen the government and we'll have a debate about it. And I can't wait for it because I think yet again the Republicans have an issue here they're going to win on when they explain to the American public, and Democrats have to defend taking all our tax dollars and handing it over as a giveaway to big insurance. To do what? To supposedly cover all our health insurance needs out there, those who either can't afford it or have pre-existing conditions or whatever. So you ask insurance companies to cover everything. As such, here's boatloads and boatloads of money. But insurance companies still get to dictate the terms of how they're going to cover you. And by the way, so does the government to a degree, which is ultimately the design as you understand. The government taking full control of your health insurance needs means they get to dole out what they cover and when, or if they do at all, which is not something you want. So, yeah, they're mad. Yeah, they're mad at Chuck Schumer. They don't want to have this Obamacare fight in public, and I am thrilled we're about to have it. Buckle up. We're just getting started.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.